I'm back. Yes, sorry. Nice orange t-shirt. Thought I'd try and get noticed this time. Anyway, as promised in video 34, and I think I also mentioned it in video 35, this is the second question that Nyagaka Charles asked during the PMI Kenya PM versus CM gig I did not so long ago. And the question goes, how would you measure business readiness in change management? Yep, great. Again, this is another one of my favourite subjects, as projects rarely do this if a change manager is not involved. It is one of the first questions I always used to ask when going into a new assignment. Do you measure business readiness, or do you want to measure business readiness? The reply that usually came back was, What's business readiness? Just to be clear, it's not Organisational Readiness Assessment, which was the subject of video 16 in this series, if you wanted to go and have a listen to that. This is Business Readiness Assessment. What's the difference? Just to repeat what I said in video 16, Organisational Readiness Assessment is an exercise conducted right at the beginning of your project or initiative to assess how ready your organisation is for change, okay? Whereas business readiness assessment is a cyclical measurement process that tracks the readiness of your project from inception through to go live in specified areas of your business. Right, the latter one is the one I'm going to tell you about, but it is my way of doing things. I'm sure there are many ways that other people use, but I hope mine is straightforward and simple and a bit like me, I suppose. Oh, just before I carry on, this is going to be quite a long video, probably about 14 minutes or so bear with me. Right, what's next? I actually cover this subject, but not in so much detail in my first ever video in this series, Numero Uno. And the question was asked by Ed Shaw, and I answered a question in 3 parts about measurement. One of the parts was about business readiness, okay? So if you want to go and have a listen to that, go and have a listen. It's a popular one. Anyway, would you talk to somebody who isn't listening? Sorry, what did you say? Would you make a movie if you didn't know who was going to watch it? Yeah. So tell me, why do projects often deliver to a business that is not ready to receive or adopt what's being delivered? Business readiness is a measure of preparation. A business that is ready will have made all the preparations necessary to accept the deliverables of a project and begin operating with them, which, in my view, is one of the single most important aspects of any change initiative, up there with adoption, usage and benefits. Anything that involves a change to ways of working needs to be assessed to see how the business is progressing toward the ultimate aim of go live. There are 3 main benefits for doing this. Number 1, it will clearly demonstrate that you are willing to listen and take account of the views of your people, because inputs will come from the impacted business community. Number 2, you will get a true reflection of the people side of a project status, which you wouldn't normally see in your standard project management milestones and deliverables dashboard. It's true. And number 3, it will provide you with the information about what areas of the project that might not be going so well as others, and allow you to implement actions and get things back on track. So, great, nice, but how do you do it? Well, as I said earlier, here's my way, which involves 8 stages. And now go live is near, and so we face the final decision. To the steering board I'll make it clear, I'll state my view and my position. You know I like to get my songs into these videos then, yes. No more, I promise. Right, how do you do it? Number one, I'll go through these fairly quickly. Agree the measurement areas. Number two, agree the questions and statements, Agree, number three, agree the survey participants. Number four, agree the scoring criteria and, if necessary, a go-live target. Number five, agree the survey tool. Number six, agree the reporting format. Number seven, distribute the survey. And number eight, and analyse feedback and, if necessary, take actions to rectify areas where there are problems. Right, let's go into a bit more detail. I should have got a cup of water. I've got a dry mouth. I'll carry on anyway. Right, number one, agree with measurement areas. These will consist of the following domains, but it's not an exhaustive list and it's based on ones I've used before. So you can measure areas, things like leadership support, departmental readiness, stakeholder engagement, project communication, processes and procedures, roles and responsibilities, training and education, business reporting, and data and analytics. It's a long list. Choose normally, previously I've used maybe 5 areas at most, possibly 6, I don't know, I can't remember, but not too many, because people would just be turned off. So what am I trying to say next? I've totally lost my thread. Okay, sorry, yeah. Next comes agree the questions and statements. You will need to agree a number of questions or statements under each of the chosen areas that you wish to measure, which you will need to be agreed by either the steering or the program board, and they should accurately reflect the kind of feedback you're trying to get, you're trying to measure. You should aim for probably a maximum of 3 questions under each area I mentioned above. I've sometimes gone to 4 just to make sure I'm getting the feedback I want, but it's not a hard and fast rule basically, so it's up to you, and it's up to the steering board and the program board. I've actually got a massive list of questions and statements that I've used before, so if you want me to send you them, just leave a comment with your email address below and I'll send you them, okay? No problem. The next stage is agree the survey participants. It's very simple, fairly simple way, because they will come from the impacted business community, but you must ensure that you have a cross-representative sample of people, for instance, managers and operational staff, etc. I normally work on surveying about 10% of the total impacted community. Okay, the next one is agree the scoring criteria and, if required, a go-live target. Scoring mechanisms for rating the survey questions or statements can vary and will again need to be agreed by the steering board and program board. A couple of examples, let me just give you a couple of examples, there's quite a few. For instance, a 1 to 5 numeric rating scale where 1 equals definitely no or not at all or extremely low priority, through to 5, which equals definitely yes, completely or high priority. Or you can use a red, amber, green, where red equals no or not at all or low priority, through to green, which is a yes or completely or of high priority. Amber or orange would be kind of in the middle ground, if you like. And as I mentioned, the above could also be assigned a go-live target. As an example, for the 1 to 5 numeric scale, you could say we want a go-live score of 4.5 to indicate that the business is ready. An overall score, that is, okay? For the red, amber, green, you could say we need to have at least 80% green to indicate business readiness. And what you do is, at the end, you assess it against those numbers, okay? Right, agree the survey tool is the next stage. It's then necessary to determine how you're going to survey your key stakeholders using a suitable survey tool. There are loads online, okay, many. I like to use SurveyMonkey, but I do kind of find the online ones fairly restrictive because they don't give you the graphs, etc., that I like to produce. So I've got my own proprietary Excel tool, and what that does is people fill it in and it automatically completes the information in the background, and it automatically creates the graph, so it's nice and easy. All right. Next stage is agree the reporting format. This is so easy, I shouldn't even mention it, because it's normally via PowerPoint, because of all the visuals, the graphs, etc., that's involved in actually showing you the business readiness activity and so forth. But you know, you can use Word, or you can use PDF or whatever. Doesn't matter. Then you've done all that. Great. Distribute the survey. This is the penultimate stage. And what you need to do is get your identified stakeholders to complete the survey within a certain time frame. As an example, if it's a monthly gap between each survey, they should be able to complete it in a couple of weeks, so it gives you time to do the analysis in the final couple of weeks before the next one goes out. The first survey acts as a baseline. Then surveys should be sent out on a cyclical basis, and I normally do that monthly, but it depends on the length of the project, to the same group of impacted stakeholders, and each new survey should be benchmarked against the previous ones to show either progression or whatever else. Okay, you're getting all this information back in now. Okay, the benchmark one, yeah, okay, the first one is fine, you can't really say a lot about that, but then you start getting the other ones, so you start to see some patterns emerging. So you do the analysis and feedback, and if necessary, take remedial actions. The analysis is actually done on the results, and the commentary is provided to participants and the steering committee or program board via the PowerPoint stuff, yeah, which I mentioned before. It's normally done face-to-face during feedback meetings, and the information can also be sent out to others who have an interest in that information. If you get a static or downward trend from previous scores, once you benchmark them, that tends to indicate an area of concern, although sometimes there is a valid reason for this. Okay, specific remedial actions and change interventions should then be implemented to address those areas where there are problems, where there are no reasons for the problems, where they just occur, which should hopefully reverse the trend, which would show up in subsequent survey results. Now, is that clear? I told you this was going to be a long one, didn't I? Nearly 13 minutes. Anyway, just one last thing. I've been involved in many projects where we have measured business readiness and added a target go live score. There has never ever been an instance where the project has been delayed because the target go live score wasn't reached. It's always been implemented regardless. What more can I say? So there we go. As I said, it's a bit of a long one, but necessary to describe the whole process to you in a bit of detail. It's important from my perspective. Right, I might take a short break from these videos for a while, okay? So I'll see you when I get back into the fray. Ciao, I hope you enjoyed this one.